What is up, Coach Emma here, and welcome back to the Fit Habit Life podcast, where we cut through the noise, talk real health and fitness, sustainable fat loss, and habits that actually work. And on today's episode, I will be talking about myself, life updates, what's been going on, because I think that is valuable. And oftentimes when I'm coaching my clients, I use personal anecdotes to kind of sell them on why they should do the thing that we're talking about. So anyway, figured I'd just jump in. So I don't even remember when the last time I've done an update was, but last year, fixed my gut, went through a cut, had hormonal issues that now we know were partially stemmed from the mold. But we didn't know that till probably a month ago, because I now know that I have mold in the house. My husband isn't just moldy, the house is moldy. And that's going to be fixed starting tomorrow. So that's kind of like the biggest life update thing. But it's interesting because what I've been learning more and more is our bodies are very resilient. But if we have a lot of stress from training, nutrition, like deficit surplus, life stressors, emotional stressors, relationship stressors, and we're living in a toxic environment that our bodies are constantly having to detox, that's going to make your body less resilient overall. And so things that used to be totally fine, they might have a hormonal impact. And personally, so growing up, I had terrible acne, like really, really bad. And I was always super tall. I'm like 6 feet tall. So I was taller than like everybody, always stuck out like a sore thumb. And I was kind of chunky back then. My face is breaking out again, and I'm having these weird rashes, more pimples than I've had in years. And a lot of it is due to the mold. And it's been really uncomfortable because my profession, I have to record myself and talk in front of people. And I don't know if you guys can see it on the video, but I have like rashes around my eyes, and like I've been breaking out into histamine reactions and other things. And that's just been frustrating. And I feel gross. Like I feel like not healthy. But compared to my husband's symptoms, like it's not that bad. But yeah, so been dealing with mold, and it's interesting because like looking back on this year, it's like, oh, like I had a lot of these problems and a lot of weird symptoms that I didn't recognize was due to the mold exposure that I was being consistently exposed to, because basically it's in the wall behind me in my office that I hang out in for at least 6 hours a day or more. Usually 8 to sometimes 10. So that's cool. Just kidding. But yeah, it's interesting because overall, like I've just been less resilient, more easily overwhelmed, more anxious. Another weird symptom is I normally just sweat. Like I sweat, and it's a normal natural process. You should be sweating regularly when you're exercising and warm. Your body's trying to cool down your temperature and detox, get rid of toxins. I haven't sweat that much this past year. And it's because mold doesn't want to leave you. So it doesn't want you to sweat. So some symptoms of like mold exposure is less capable of sweating. So like before I would sit in a sauna for a couple minutes and I'd start to sweat. Now it takes like 10 to 15 minutes to start sweating. And something that I was experiencing is I would get like rashes on my arms. Thought it was just like a heat rash. No, it was a histamine reaction because the mold is like, stop it, get out of here. So anyway, it's just kind of interesting, like some of those symptoms that looking back were due to mold. And I kind of wanted to talk about like my personal mindset about what I've been going through, mindset around how I look, how I feel, my nutrition training goals, and what the mold process is actually going to look like, because I just think it would be valuable for people to understand. So when you're in a physiological stress state like that, being exposed to mold, trying to detox mold, trying to get mold out of the house, going into a fat loss phase or a muscle building phase is kind of silly because that's another physiological stress that your body has to adapt to. And my body's already overly stressed with all the toxin exposure we have all the time. Because the interesting thing about mold is it creates spores. And even when they're dead, they're still toxic. And they stay in the dust and the environment of the room that they were in. So actually, in order to clean out mold, you have to basically Swiffer the walls with a microfiber cloth. So that's going to be fun. But anyway, point being, mold is our house is probably has mold in every room because of that, because the air is filtering through. So anyway, I'm being constantly exposed to toxins that my body has to detox. So going into a deficit or muscle build, kind of counterproductive. So even though I just did a podcast on how recomp is like the worst way to try to build muscle and lose body fat, that's essentially what I'm doing. I'm just trying to listen to my body, stay at my perceived maintenance by maintaining or listening to my hunger cues, eating balanced meals 4 times a day like I usually do, and just not trying to push too low or too high, and just trying to maintain. And personally, like, I've been more inflamed. I just don't feel like very comfortable in my body right now. I've struggled with body image issues forever. And honestly, like, I probably am, I wouldn't say I look the best that I've ever looked, but I look pretty dang good. Like, looking at old photos from like 8, 10, even like a year and a half ago, like, I look a lot better than I did then, and I was more confident in myself. But I've just been feeling a little puffy and not super comfortable with the way that I look. So it's kind of been a struggle because personally, yeah, I would like to lose some body fat and just feel a little bit more confident in how I look. But right now, that's like kind of the worst thing to do because my body is trying to heal. So I need to allow it to heal and not put any other stressors on it. And essentially how mold goes, mold protocols, you need to get the mold out of the house. You need to get out of the environment with the mold. We own this house, so we have to get the mold out of the house. And then once you get the mold out of the house, your body will be better capable of, 1, detoxing because you're not being consistently exposed to mold. But then 2, you can actually start a protocol. And I haven't fully outlined this protocol yet. I met with a functional doctor. Actually, I'm interviewing him today on the podcast, the co-founder of Rise and Pure Factor Formulations. He's going to be on my podcast later today. So that'll be cool. And we're actually going to talk about toxins, mold, basically stealth infections are what they called, because you don't really know until it's there and you're having weird symptoms, but you don't really know why you're having weird symptoms because you get your blood work done, your hormones are in a healthy place, and, lifestyle's dialed in. Like, why are you having these problems? You don't know. So anyway, stealth infections, that's going to be a good one. I have a whole list of questions for him, but we met with him and we kind of talked about, because my husband has the severe symptoms. Like, we've what's wrong with Joe? There's a couple episodes about him in there. And we've done all the things. We've done the lifestyle, we've done sleep studies. He had a septoplasty to fix a deviated septum, and that didn't work. We addressed gut health issues that are still kind of lingering, but way better than before. And they're lingering because he's still being exposed to mold and he's still moldy. So anyway, basically for mold, get out of the environment. Fix the environment if you can't get out of it. And then you can start to heal. And basically the gist is you want to support your body's natural detox pathways and strengthen your body's immune system so it can better handle it. And then you go through an antimicrobial kind of protocol. So that's our game plan. That's probably what the summer is going to look like. So rest of June, cleaning up the house, getting things out of the house, cleaning a window. So something you guys can do now too, if you think, hey, I might have mold exposure or my house might be moldy, check your toilet tanks, clean those out, and check your window, window sills, like the window tracks. Those can accumulate mold pretty easily. So anyway, we're going to have to finish those up, get the mold out of the house, and then we can start the full protocol. And I'll probably have my husband on to talk through it at some point, because it's kind of interesting, like his symptoms, his experience, what we did, and why we ended up figuring out it was mold, and why we anyway. So that's kind of my current goal, is just to support that process and enjoy the summer, go on hikes. We don't have any travel planned, except I'm probably going somewhere end of July, early August for max a week. We did want to travel, but mold remediation is insanely expensive. Just for context, so that bathroom that's in between my office and my husband's, and then the bathroom in our master, that's where the mold is. To get the mold out of the walls here between the bathrooms and stuff, and out of that bathroom, it's $7,000. And what they do is they basically break holes in everything and just get the mold out. And then they're like, cool, you're good, we're done. And then it's like, well, crap, I have to fix the drywall and potentially any other stuff that breaks apart. Thank goodness, we have a finished basement with a bathroom, and we have a futon down there. So we're just gonna, today's goal, move everything out of my office, just so that nothing important is harmed, and then move downstairs and move our clothes downstairs and all of that. So that's kind of game plan for today to prepare for them. Yeah, I don't know how long it's going to take. They start on a Thursday, which is unfortunate, because that means that it's probably going to take 3 to 4 days. They're probably not going to work on a Saturday. So we're probably going to have our 2 upstairs bathrooms unusable, and same with the offices. So, and before we got married, I lived in a 1-bedroom, 1-bath apartment, and let's just say us not having to share a bathroom has been very helpful for our marriage, and we're going to have to share one for a bit. So I'm not super jazzed about that, but really blessed that we don't have to move out, because we have some friends who had a really, really bad mold in their house. Their floorboards were moldy. So they had to really move out of the entire house, and the whole house was basically ripped apart. So thankfully we don't think ours is that bad, which is good, but it's bad enough to where I'm having histamine reactions. My husband is just not feeling good. So anyway, that's my current focus for health, fitness, life goals. And then hopefully, based on how we clear out the house and all of that, I should be able to enter a fat loss phase in September. That's kind of my game plan. September for me is actually very busy, because people are like, okay, I have structure now, I'm ready to start coaching. And I'm like, cool, okay, let's do it. And so usually September gets a little bit crazy, September, October, and then usually January, and then sometimes April, May sort of things. So they seem to be kind of the seasons. So with that, it's okay, well, I'm not going to have that much free time, so it'll be a lot easier to be in a cut. And for me, the holidays, it doesn't really bother me to not be able to be as indulgent, quote unquote. So anyway, that's kind of my game plan. And then moving into the winter, a more performance maintenance, maybe slight surplus phase, because hopefully we'll have snow this year that we can enjoy in Utah, and I can snowboard. But if the mold is more complicated or takes longer than we expect, then the fat loss phase might be pushed back a little bit. So we'll see. It should be an interesting 9 months-ish. But ideally, I don't want to keep doing these things. I want to get to a place where I'm comfortable with my body, be able to maintain it, and just stay there and just focus on performance and focus less on how I look, but more on how I feel, how I'm able to do the cool stuff in life. But I'm not comfortable right now. And this is probably going to happen again. We want to have children. So that's going to be a fun adventure for my body image issues. So that's kind of my overall, like, I guess, nutrition periodization plan for the next 9 months. And then this summer, I'm doing a quote unquote recomp. I'm just trying to get really strong, fuel my performance, enjoy training, and hike. That's kind of it. So that's kind of my update. Just thought it would be cool to share, like, mindset around things, why I'm deciding to do these certain things. And yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any other pertinent updates. Some are also like really focusing on just building community and friendships, because I've been doing that the past probably like month, and it's been really helpful and beneficial for my overall quality of life. Like, I'm working more than I have in the past 6 months, but I feel better and less stressed and less anxious. So it's been a really good thing. So if you don't have community, try to find some, because man, it's just so important. And try to find some in person too. Like, I know that can be hard, especially in the fitness space, like depending on the friends that you used to have or the friends that you still have now that don't have the same values or goals that you do. It can be kind of hard to connect, right? But find those people, find your people. Because it's important. It's an important part of health. And then if like you're like, okay, I need a little bit of extra guidance based on my goals, like what I'm going through right now, what I want to go through, and I'm not sure what would be the right next step for me, just shoot me a message on Instagram, or you could book a discovery call in the link below, and we could just chat like, hey, like, given your goals, given the season of life that you're in, this is what's realistic, and is what would be the best game plan for you moving forward based on my personal experience and my experience with clients. What would help you get the best results and be the most compliant and consistent? So hoping that this episode was valuable. If you don't need that guidance, that's good. And if you like these episodes where I talk about my personal experience, just let me know too. Like, hit me up on Instagram and be like, hey, Emma, that was really cool. Keep doing it, or whatever. And yeah, that's kind of it. So I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for listening, and hope you guys have an awesome day.